Ethiopia is a land of diverse natural, historical, and cultural endowments. The nation aspires to present its rich tourism attractions to international tourist market. GEBETA LE HAGER Dine for Ethiopia is an initiative put forth by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed to bring about a significant change in tourism sector of the country to undertake developmental projects that are envisioned to enhance tourist destination sites and to ultimately place Ethiopia on the map of one of the top tourist destinations in the world. The emboldened vision has three fronts: Gorgora, Wunchi, and Koisha project. The Koisha International Tourist Destination Development Mission covers a large area of development works in the Konta Special Woreda and Dauro zone of the southern nations, nationalities, and peoples region of Ethiopia. The project is located at about 450 kilometers southwest of Addis Ababa. The bordering areas are on the south Gofa zone, on the west Kafa zone, on the north the Gojab River, and Walaita zone on the east. There are two airstrips nearby, GEBETA III Dam and Koisha Dam. Jimma International Airfield is currently the nearest, while a new airfield is proposed nearby Tercha. The international tourist attraction development work is to be executed at 5 areas, namely Kati Halala Keela, Gilgil Gibe III Hydroelectric Dam Reservoir, Jabara Churchura National Park, the Koisha Hydroelectric Dam Reservoir, and the culturally rich Tsara community. Gilgil Gibe III Hydroelectric Dam is located within the Omo Gibe River Basin, approximately some 407 kilometers south of Addis Ababa. The breathtaking scenery around the dam and the reservoir imparts unparalleled tranquility and induces calmness when used for boating and cruising recreational purposes. What meets the eye rests the soul. The landscape in the area and the singing birds in the surrounding complement the experience to a level where it feels heavenly. Halala Keela is a name given to the gigantic dry stone masonry defensive wall. Some 400 years ago, successive kings protected Dauro's territories from invaders by putting up this wall, which took 3 generations and 200 years to complete. The wall stretches 1,000 kilometers, has 7 gates, and comes in a number of rows. The fortress is also called the Great Kati Halala Keela Defensive Wall, named after one of the earlier days kings called Halala, who brought the construction of the wall to its completion. The construction of the wall is still a mystery and open for further study. Its topographic harmony is intriguing in that it is attached to dead and mountainous walls and culminate in rifts, cliff tips, providing no escaping loopholes. The might and the grace of the wall emanate from how far it stretches, how long it has withstood the test of time, and its indigenous engineering. Legend has it that the walls had several tower posts with gods. They used a communication system called Gamia, which connects all the tower posts all the way to the palace. You might think any sort of wire-based communication. It was not. It was a drum communication. Upon any social discord, drum notification starts at one point, then it goes to the next, and the next, all the way to the palace. The magnificent historical accounts, accompanied with the might and imposing presence of the wall, makes the area an attractive tourist site. If one is apt for a captivating wildlife, a green environment, hot spring waters, and waterfall traveling experience, coming to the Jabara Churchura National Park is nothing short of a right decision. It rests on 14,100 hectares of land, which is about 3 times the size of Addis Ababa. The park has 3 entrance points called the Jabara entrance, which is 460 kilometers via Jimma, a Gudumobo entrance via Sodo 526 kilometers, Boka entrance 510 kilometers, all from Addis Ababa. The Jabara Churchura is the best site in Ethiopia to see elephants and buffalo groups, as they come in hundreds in a single herd. The African elephant has been one of the endangered members of the wildlife. It used to be a prideful tradition to hand them down. things are different now. Hunting elephants is legally prohibited. As a result, their population size has increased in hundreds. CCNP is home to a variety of mammals, birds, fish, and other aquatic fauna, and a variety of insects and many other living beings in the wild. The following resources are recorded in the park. 58 mammals, of which 40 are big and medium, and 18 are small. There are 4 big game animals, 137 species of birds, including dragoon and turacos, out of which 6 of them are endemic to Ethiopia. The park is also home to the only fish species in the world, called Gara Jabara. The big rivers that flow all around the park include Shashima, Zigna, Mensa, Oma, and Tukuruha rivers. Most of the rivers do have wonderful waterfalls. Up to 8 are identified so far that could be made as some of the tourist destination sites. The waterfalls identified so far include Barbo Waterfall, Uma Waterfall, Alibomba Waterfall, Shokila Waterfall, and Murcha Waterfall, Sintaye Gogola Waterfall, and etc. The development's intention is to make some of these waterfalls like Alibombo, Barbo, and Shokila waterfalls tourist destination sites. Jabara Churchura Park is also blessed with a number of lakes rich in biodiversity, like Lake Bulo, known for its hippo population, Lake Bahi, famous for its crocodiles and bird life, Lake Chafore, known for its riparian forest, Lake Ishita Shasho, known for its bigger size and for being the home for various fish types. There are also a number of hot springs as well as cold springs. Soshima Ado, Mara Ado, Tora Ado, Buba Ado, Kafiche Ado, Zigna Ado, and Bogida Ado are some of the hot springs, while Nechuha and Hage are some of the cold springs. Jabara Churchura National Park is a home to a variety of vegetation resources. These vegetation types of the park are broadly classified as open and wooded grasslands 62.5%, woodlands 8%, montane forest 26.5%, and riverine forest 3%. Due to this variety of composition of the broad vegetation classification, the park is rich in its wildlife resources. The woody plant species which are identified by a single survey conducted in the park is said to be about 106, out of which 6 of them are endemic to Ethiopia. The climate varies at different points of the park. It is mostly quite enjoyable owing to the shades provided by the forests. The rainy season stretches for over 4 months between April and August. The average annual rainfall is relatively high, and that helps the park maintain a green and lavish appearance all year long. The park is tremendously eye-catching because of its undulating landscape, with high hills, rolling plains with incised rivers and perennial streams, valleys, and gorges. A number of historical caves which can be developed to touristic experience and are the must-see and experience features of the park. The park's administration assigns and deploys lookouts to make sure illegal hunting and environment degradation activities do not take place within the park. They move around with the wildlife herds to wherever they go in the park, for they think that's the best way to protect them. The community cooperate with the scouts by passing information whenever they notice irregularities in the park. The warden scouts take turns in a group of 12 members. They eat and drink from what the forests yield, sleeping in the forest for the duty duration of a whole month while providing protection to the wildlife. The park is filled with fascinating human nature harmony stories. There is a honey guide bird in the park which shows to humans the whereabouts of honey in the woods. It gives directions to where exactly in the forest honey is located. The bird does not do that for free. It charges for its services, so the locals would have to leave a portion of the newly found honey behind for it. Can one think of any more nature and human harmony than that? It's very doubtful. The Zara, also known as the Jara community, is one of the communities in the area rich in culture and tradition. The Zaras are comfortably distant from the rest of the world and content with their ways of living. They are more like the living museum, as one marvels at the structure and functions of their communal living. They still reserve an ancient technique of iron refinery scheme. This amazing wisdom has been preserved for a series of generations and passed on from one to the other. It makes you wonder whether the steel production technology is imported from Europe or is exported to it from Zara. Only comprehensive research can answer that. The people here have no geological or modern mining know-how. Nevertheless, they can instinctively identify where there is iron in the undergrounds of their surroundings. They traditionally refine iron from soil and then use it for the manufacture of various appliances and need it for domestic or field use. Having that first-hand experience with the Zaras provides a profound insight into community systems and way of life. The Koisha hydroelectric dam plant, which stands now at 37% completion, is being constructed and rushed towards its conclusion. Upon completion, the dam is hoped to create an artificial lake that stretches up to 120 kilometers upstream and make for another notable tourist attraction and enrich the area's ecological order. The reservoir can be used for water-based touristic experiences, lodges, floating cinema, restaurants, boating and jet skiing, and many more exciting activities to get caught up with. The southern part of Ethiopia is also endowed with cultural and man-made wonders. The communities have a delicious cuisine, special dressing styles and adornments, musical instruments, rhythm, and dance. The area represents a mosaic of various human identities and way of lives, which all have tremendous tourism value. Communities intertwined their livelihood with their environment in a way one's existence isn't a threat but a blessing to the other. The people protect the environment provides for the community's livelihood needs. It is a land where an unbelievable harmony of human life, environment, and wildlife exists. On these untouchable pillars, one can witness harmony with nature in the construction of a Halala Keela defensive wall, in the day-to-day life experiences of the community, the environment, and the wildlife in and around Jaba National Park, in the iron identification and melting tradition of Zara society as well. Harmony with nature is a core value of the community in and around the project area. The key purpose of the project is therefore transforming the area into an international tourist destination, while the spirit of harmony with nature is upheld. Respecting the culture and values of the people, catering for the needs of the wildlife, conserving the rich and diverse environment are untouchable pillars the project stands on. The Koisha International Tourist Destination Project is a developmental activity envisioned to be executed through 5 clusters, each one providing unique tourist attraction resources and serving the tourists with special travel experiences. The Koisha Reservoir will also be utilized as a boating corridor for both wonderful tourist experience and transport purposes, linking the clusters together with water transport. Halala Keela cluster is about history and culture. Gudumobo cluster is about health and well-being. Jaba Maya cluster deals with wildlife experience. Churchura cluster is all about mount adventure, and finally Koisha cluster focuses on recreational, cultural, and green experiences. Number of attractions will also be developed in Jaba National Park, which will be accessed from Gudumobo and Jaba Maya sites. Halala Keela cluster. This cluster bases the Great Daura Waltz and the GEBETA III Dam Reservoir as the fascinating tourist attraction resources. The cluster is a development work site with its emphasis placed on historic and cultural features of the area. The cultural center includes Cultural Research Center, Reception, Cultural Public Experience Plaza, Conference Center, and Museum. The cultural restaurant is designed in a local team to provide food services for visitors to experience the traditional Ethiopian cuisine. In the central part of the cultural restaurant, there will be a traditional food testing podium for visitors to test the local nourishments. Cultural food making experience is part of the cultural center that aims for cultural food making skills be shared with visitors. Here, tourists can learn and try injera making, preparation of kocho, and other local food making skills. In this center, public open plaza is designed for the display of traditional music, dance, and art performances of the society, like Dinka music and Manchilla painting on animal skin. There will be outdoor cafe services and semi-open cafeteria integrated with the open plaza. Great Dauro defensive walls. Minimum intervention will be conducted to preserve the authenticity of the existing Great Dauro walls. Only working visit, horse riding access, and a sitting area are allowed. The design emphasizes on the existing paths of the great defensive walls of Dauro and the traditional drumming-based communication style called Gomia. View Podium. Hilltop view podium to Halala Keela, the Omo Valley, and the GEBETA man-made lake will be built. There will be mount hiking routes to heights where the tourists will be provided with an amazing podium view to gaze at the riches of the surrounding. Zuma Cultural Market Area. Open-air cultural market area is part of the Halala Keela project designed to promote and ensure the socio-economic life of the residents. Tourists can visit, buy, and practice the traditional marketing system of the area. Boat transportation and facilities for water sport activities are planned on Gilgil Gibe III man-made water reservoir. Fishery shops and resorts are also designed to be near to the water reservoir. The hiking trail is to enable travelers to visit the Great Dauro Walls and its history and have social interactions with the community along their historical chronology. Gudumobo cluster. The cluster has 3 development centers known as Gudumo Village and Attractions, Boka Mountain Ridge Developments, and Karibela Lakeside Developments. Gudumo Village, there will be comprehensive tourist reception and accommodation village, and the village includes resort, horse ranch, souvenir shops, bed and breakfast accommodations, lodge and cable car station. Gudumo Village entrance is one of the gateways to Jaba Maya National Parks from Dauro side. This resort is designed to accommodate and provide high-end hospitality to tourists and leave them with lifelong memory. A cable car is designed as a major means of transportation to minimize negative environmental impacts and to provide tourists with fascinating bird's eye views of the beautiful landscape and dense mountain forests. Hiking, horse riding, and biking are also the other eco-friendly means of transport to access the tourist attraction sites. Chawuda Herbal Spa Village. Located on the southwest of Gudumobo village is Chawuda Herbal Spa Village, where the area's specific herbs and medicinal plants are intertwined with a spa experience to provide tourists with rejuvenating health and well-being engagements. Ali Bomba. The next stop after Chawuda Herbal Spa Village is the magnificent Ali Bomba waterfall attraction. Herbal Research Center is also included to document the local knowledge and extend the knowledge base of the herbs and medicinal plants unique to the area. Here, tourists are invited to have a natural waterfall bath along with a spatial hydrotherapy spa service and experience the natural provisions of the surrounding. After having seen all the above 3 attraction sites, the tourists will be offered to Shara Mountain, one of the outstanding mountain peaks in the Jabara Churchura National Park, in deep mountain forest with rich undergrowth and climbers. On top of the mountain is a magnificent telescopic view podium designed with 360-degree views extending to Jabara and with an eye-catching view to the fascinating Chafore Lake, known for its beautiful riparian forest. Chafore. Camping site and 3 houses are provided on the side of Chafore Lake in the rich riparian forest for long rejuvenating experiences. Staying at the camping site during the night time, when the wild is out for survival missions, provides a thrilling but alluring experience which barely disappears from one's memory. The 3 houses are suitable for meditation. Boka is another development center in Gudumobo Boka cluster. The development center is connected to Shita Shasho Lake with hiking route. The center includes park entrance, herbal meditation hub, enforced meditation, and jungle sports, paragliding lodge, and health sanctuary. Boka entrance is one of the gateways to Jabara Churchura National Park, a place to relax at. Enforced tree houses and meditation cabin is located in a calm and refreshing surrounding of the mountain forest. The site has various natural medicinal plants and wild fruits and coffee. A herbal medicinal hub is built to introduce and preserve the medicinal plants of the land. Health Sanctuary. It is a place of refreshing exercises for practicing world's latest programs for effective health sports and meditation within the mountain forest edge of Boka Mountain Ridge. Jungle Sport is a place where you get to exercise and challenge your strength in the dense mountain forest along the steep topography, including jungle aerobics, tree climbing, and cliff jogging. Paragliding Lodge. One other tourist attraction of the lodge is the paragliding adventure to the valley of the park's dense forest and to a wooded grassland of a Boka settlement located at the right and left of the Boka Ridge development. Karibela Lakeside Developments. The development includes Sunrise Lodge, Public Pavilion, Sunset Lodge, Natural Pool and Hippo Sanctuary. Within the beautiful and refreshing riparian forest on the sides of Karibela Lake, a public pavilion will be built with a seating area and cycling paths and a boating services for fascinating lakeside travel experiences. Sunset Lodge and Sunrise Lodge. Karibela Lake, unlike other lakes within the park, is not surrounded by mountains. The lodges will have amazing sunset and sunrise views along the lakeside view. Natural pool is also included in the lakeside's rich riparian forest filled with the treated lake water for tourists to have a refreshing experience of swimming in it. Jaba Maya Cluster. Jaba Maya Cluster provides a close view experience of the wildlife, including the endangered black African elephant and buffalo herds, as well as a range of wildlife, more than 3 waterfalls and 2 crater lakes. It is envisioned to be developed as Wildlife Experience Cluster. Amaya Town, as is the case with all clusters, has a community empowerment intent at its core. The development plans to enable the people of the area, the park and the biodiversity in the park to live in harmony. The town includes transportation hub, a vocational school to prepare the manpower and expertise needed to meet the new development demands, medium-class accommodation for budget visitors. The developments of both Amaya and Jabara towns will follow the basic principles of the new emerging sustainable town development model to ensure developmental, social and economic sustainability through community empowerment. This concept is to be applied on Churchura, Keichi, Bale and Koisha towns. The market outlets would help the locals put their artifacts, handicrafts, souvenirs, food and beverages and livestock up for market. The towns will have a commercial corridor. There are urban farming plots reinforced by irrigation lines. Agro-processing facilities will be built. The towns will adopt an integral waste management system. Shokila Waterfall. This is an attraction site situated to the north of Amaya town. It has an all-season waterfall with a natural recess behind the waterfall. Organic walking trails, swimming activities, and juice bar are proposed on this specific attraction site. Sintai Gongolo. Located midway from Amaya to Jabera, Sintai Gongolo is an attraction with a waterfall and cave located directly behind the waterfall. The cave is believed to be more than 10 kilometers deep. A camping site in the dark cave and a walking trail is proposed in this attraction site. Jabara Town. Jabara Town is a tourist town where the Jabara Gate of the park is situated. The following are the developmental activities proposed in the area. Luxury Lodge is proposed for high-end tourists. Open cultural marketplace is proposed for the locals to sell their produce to the visitors. A Scouts Training Center is proposed. Entrance gate will be built from bamboo, which is an abundant resource in the area. The entrance facilities include accessory shop, a gallery and a library, a scout's dormitory and a dining spot, parking, an administration building, and juice bar. GEBETA attractions. In GEBETA attraction, there are many tourist attraction sites. Shoshima Hot Spring, Nechuha Cold Spring, Yirpa Mount, Barbo Waterfall, Bahi Lake are the attraction sites. Shoshima Hot Spring is a hot water drinking spot for most wild animals. Hot spring thermal bath and a watching a terrace to view wild animals like elephants, a buffalo, lion, a cheetah are proposed. It provides a perfect site for wildlife viewing. Nechuha is a remarkably pure cold spring surrounded by the green and natural riparian forest. It is a habitat for hippo. Spring experiencing spot and gazing platforms are proposed here. From the main road to Yirpa Mount, a trail invites you to join a challenging hiking to the mount peak. Not only here, but many more hiking trails are proposed to a number of tourist attraction sites. Yirpa Mount. A camping site and viewing podium is proposed here. Yirpa Mount is a high peak mount between Yirpa Forest and Mecca Forest, also referred to as Meda 1 and Meda 2, which are the main habitats for elephant herds, buffalo herds, and other animals. Ballooning is a unique way to see the entire park and its wildlife. You can find captivating vistas from every angle. Barbo Waterfall is created by Shoshima River. Water experiencing bridge and a juice bar are proposed here. "20 meters high waterfall with wonderful riverside forest. Lake Bahi is mostly known for bird and aquatic life like crocodiles and hippos. A bird watching cable bridge and suspended terrace are proposed here. Churchura cluster. The main attraction point of this cluster is the Churchura settlement, Koisha Reservoir, Tosanadre overhanging cliff, and the ridge that connects the reservoir and the overhanging cliff. Therefore, following the presence of the cliff, the ridge line, and the reservoir, the development specialty of this cluster is designed to be mainly about adventure, with primary focus placed on mount adventure. Here, there will also be kayaking and other water adventure activities. At the top of the adventure park, there is an adventurous biking loop for bikers and skaters. Here, the tourists will have a hint of what the ridge biking looks like. They will train and exercise in this area. To the west of this loop lies an obstacle game course for trail lovers. The obstacle course is full of challenge game experiences like climbing, running, jumping, crawling, and the like. Trekking and biking adventure loop. Here, the majority of tourist experience lies on the ridge line, which is an ideal place for adventure lovers. On the ridge line, the tourist will experience a long-distance trekking and biking adventure loop full of obstacles. As tourists travel along the route, the topography unfolds the breathtaking mountainous scenery to the right and left of the path. As the trekkers and bikers ascend upward, they will reach the Churchura town, which will be developed based on the ideas of sustainable and compact tourist town. The welcoming Churchura town provides various experiences like pond fishing, fresh fruit from the tree, cultural exchange, and lodging inside the homes of the good people of Churchura. Tosanadere overhanging cliff is an ideal location for trail lovers. At the foot, tourists will be engaged with cliff climbing adventures. At the middle of the cliff, there is a cave for self-catering, socializing, and eating services. The face of the cliff is also used as an ideal place for overhanged cliff lodging full of beautiful sceneries. There will also be spots for port lodge camping for maximum trail experience. These camping lodges will be accessed by cliff climbing and zip lines. At the top of the cliff, there is a platform for hang gliding. As the bikers and trekkers travel on the ridge lines of the mountains, they will find selected spots for nighttime ridgetop camping and resting, which will give the trekkers and bikers an experience full of breathtaking mountainous sceneries. After the completion of the Koisha Dam and a reservoir is filled, there will be a boating corridor from GEBETA III to Koisha. Koisha Cluster. Green Koisha. Koisha is an emerging town with a little more than 10 years of existence. The project focuses on the emerging town of Koisha to generate green urban development. to ensure the sustainable socio-economic activities, cultural market corridors that make for cultural experiences of tourists. Community empowerment centers are situated at the entrance and alongside the major road of the town. The town will allow pedestrian-friendly paths that create healthier environment. Green buildings, vertical garden attached to buildings blocks, and urban traditional vernacular houses will be built from locally available materials. Wide public open space with green gardens is part of the natural breathing system of the town to avoid suffocation in compacted urban area. Artificial river that passes and circulates through the neighborhoods is to be the cooling system of the hot climate of the existing Koisha town. The Tsara Society, the Living Museum. The Tsara community has unique tradition, cultural iron melting system, and their traditional ceremonies are among the many. The Little Living Museum Tsara community is selected as a site for communal development. The cluster here will chart ways as to how valuable indigenous traditions of Tsara will be preserved. Thus, the development in this area will be conducted in a bid to promote and empower the community with little intervention. Traditional iron melting school is proposed to conserve indigenous wisdoms and promote the society's customs and traditions. A museum and cultural exchange center will be built where the artifacts, handicrafts, and the society's distinguishing features are displayed, whereby public involvement and empowerment are ensured. Visitors will have the opportunity to observe the traditional iron excavation and melting techniques. Scientific and cultural exchanges are deemed to take place. Cultural open-air market will be built to promote cultural handicrafts, clothes, potteries, souvenir, and local fruit markets to showcase the identity of the community. Vernacular accommodations are included. Additionally, vernacular guest houses, integrated with the farmers' local houses for tourists, are aspects of the project as part of the community empowerment ventures. Koisha Water Reservoir. Floating Village. The floating village is to be built on the Koisha hydroelectric power reservoir that provides water recreations. The aim of this village is to be an entertainment zone. Floating cinema accompanied with amphitheater designed on top of the water reservoir. Floating juice bars are included in the project's design. The floating lodges use a boat transportation, which grant access to the nearby attraction zones and the Churchura Park. High-end hilltop resort. On top of the mountain of the Koisha Reservoir, high-end hilltop resort and a spa will be built. Mount side lodges. Nearby the floating villages on the mount side of the reservoir, high-end lodges are proposed. Visitors will be able to enjoy the life of the floating activities from both high-end hilltop lodges and mount side lodges. To ensure sustainable and environmentally friendly village, waste management and recycling station will be planted to reduce pollution that out from the floating structures, the high-end hilltop and mount lodges. The project, having fascinating tourist attractions for sensitizing all the five senses, provides a lifetime travel experiences one would ever wish for. The development adheres to the concepts of green and sustainable development tied to the core value of harmony with nature. The project is a showcase of nature and society's harmony for sustainable economic development through educating and engaging the community into participatory tourism economy. The project uniquely exhibits Ethiopia was great, Ethiopia is wonderful, and Ethiopia is becoming phenomenal.